The wallpaper faces. You ever stare at something long enough that it starts staring back? Yeah, that's how it started for me. Just a normal Tuesday night in my new apartment, an old two-story building with wallpaper older than my grandmother's bones. I moved in thinking I'd finally escaped the chaos of the city, you know? Just me, my books, and a bit of quiet. But here's the thing about quiet. Sometimes it listens back. There was this pattern in the wallpaper. Tiny swirls of faded gold and green, almost like faces if you squinted hard enough. I laughed it off at first, told myself it was just old paint, water damage, pareidolia, the brain making shapes where there aren't any. But when one of the faces smiled back, I stopped laughing. The apartment had this smell. Not bad, not good, just old. Dust, plaster, and something sweeter underneath, like wilted flowers. My neighbors, if there were any, never made a sound. The landlord was a phantom who only existed through voicemail. I thought maybe I'd stumbled into the perfect writer's haven, a place where I could finally hear myself think. But at night, that wallpaper hummed. Not loud, just beneath the edge of hearing, like the faint buzz of a dying light bulb. Sometimes I'd wake to find my lamp flickering, the air heavy with warmth, as if someone had exhaled beside my bed. I told myself it was just the house settling, just old bones creaking in the dark. But deep down I knew something inside these walls was alive. And worse, it was learning my name. The first time I heard it whisper, soft as breath, I didn't turn around, because somehow I already knew exactly where the voice was coming from the wallpaper. At first, it was small stuff. The faces would shift when I wasn't looking. I'd swear the eyes were pointing one way when I left the room and another when I came back. Once, I took a picture with my phone, but the faces weren't there in the photo. That's when I started to lose sleep. I'd hear whispers, not loud, just brushing the edge of my hearing, like breathing through the paper. My friends told me to get out, that I was imagining things, but I couldn't. The lease was cheap, and besides, part of me needed to know. One night, I peeled a corner of the wallpaper back, just to see what was underneath. And there, behind the yellowed paper, was another layer, and another, each one older, each one covered in faces, sharper and darker the deeper I went, like something had been watching for a long time. After that, the apartment changed. The air felt thicker, harder to breathe, like humidity before a storm. I'd wake up drenched in sweat, the walls gleaming with condensation. The faces began to appear in new rooms. The kitchen, the hallway, the bathroom mirror, when the steam settled just right. And every time I blinked, they were closer. One evening, I came home to find every light in the apartment on, buzzing, flickering. The wallpaper seemed to pulse. The smell of flowers had grown stronger, sweet and rotting. I thought maybe someone had broken in, so I grabbed a knife from the kitchen and crept through each room. Nothing. No one. Just silence. But when I stepped into the bedroom, I saw it. A section of wallpaper near my bed that was wet, like something breathing beneath it. I pressed my hand against it and felt warmth and a heartbeat. That's when the whispering stopped pretending to be imagination. It was clearer now. Dozens of voices murmuring in unison, like wind through graves. I couldn't make out the words, but the rhythm, it was familiar. My name. Over and over, I tore another strip of wallpaper off, my heart hammering. Beneath it, a human eye stared back. Not painted, not printed, real. That was the moment I understood. I wasn't alone in that apartment. I never had been. It all came to a head one stormy night. Lightning hitting somewhere close, power flickering like a dying heartbeat. I was standing in that room, half crazed, tearing the paper off the walls, determined to find the truth. But the last layer wasn't paper. It was skin, cold, damp, pulsing like it was alive. The faces weren't painted. They were pressed into it. Dozens of them. Eyes shut tight, mouths half open, like they were trapped mid-scream. And one of them looked exactly like me. Then the eyes opened. I stumbled back, the knife slipping from my hand. Lightning flashed through the window, and for a split second, the whole wall moved. The faces rippled like water, their mouths widening. They began to breathe, a collective exhale that sent a gust of decay and heat rolling through the room. Then the whispers returned, no longer whispers, but words, clear, coherent. "Stay," I screamed, tearing at the wall, at the faces, but each strip I pulled just exposed another layer, another set of eyes, another scream frozen in the paper's veins. It wasn't wallpaper anymore. It was a shroud, a grave. I could feel something behind it, pressing forward, testing the surface, like fingers pushing against the inside of a balloon. The sound was unbearable, wet, tearing, human. And then I saw it, a shape pushing through the wall. Not a face this time. A body. A reflection of mine, slick and pale, emerging inch by inch. The same features, the same eyes, only empty. It smiled at me. I ran for the door, but it slammed shut on its own. The thing, the copy, stepped free of the wall, skin stretching and snapping as it tore loose. It moved like a marionette on invisible strings, head twitching, fingers dripping wallpaper glue and blood. Then it spoke, my voice but hollow. "You peeled too deep," it said. "Now we trade places." I backed into the corner as the lights died. The last thing I saw was its hand reaching for my face, warm, sticky, and the sensation of something pulling me backward, into the wall, into the cold, pulsing dark. The storm raged outside, but inside, everything went silent. I don't remember much after that, just the sound, a tearing sound, and a sudden, heavy silence. When I came to, the room looked normal. The wallpaper was clean, fresh, smooth as new skin. But something was wrong with my reflection. My eyes looked painted on. When I tried to scream, the sound didn't come from my throat. It came from the wall. At first, I thought I was dreaming, some kind of delirium after a breakdown. The storm was gone. The air was still. I could hear a faint hum through the walls, the same low vibration that used to keep me up at night. Only now it wasn't outside me. It was in me. I staggered through the apartment, calling for help, but every sound I made was muffled, swallowed. My voice didn't echo anymore. It was like the walls were drinking it in. I reached for the door, but my hand stopped short. My fingertips brushed the surface and stuck there, like glue. I yanked them free, but a piece of skin came with it, leaving faint, golden patterns beneath, the same swirling designs as the wallpaper. That's when I saw the light shift across the hallway mirror. Someone was behind me. No footsteps, no sound, just the faint shimmer of movement. I turned, slow, terrified, and saw myself. Standing where I'd been, my clothes, my hair, my face. Only it wasn't quite right. The smile was too wide, the eyes too bright. The reflection tilted its head and waved, and when I blinked, it was gone. I backed against the wall, heart pounding, breath coming in gas that didn't sound human. My phone lay on the floor where I dropped it the night before. I picked it up, hands shaking, and opened the camera. The screen showed my face, but behind me, barely visible, were dozens of others, pressed against the wallpaper, mouths open in silent screams. I dropped the phone, then the voices began again, softer now, calmer, almost tender. "Stay," they whispered. "You're one of us now." I tried to deny it, to run, to fight, but my legs wouldn't move. The walls pulsed gently, like a heartbeat syncing with my own, and in that moment I realized the truth. Whatever had taken my place out there was living my life, and I was the new pattern in the wallpaper. They say the apartment's still empty. The landlord can't rent it out. No one lasts more than a night. Tenants complain of scratching behind the walls, of murmurs that sound almost like words. One woman said she woke to find her name written across the wallpaper in faint gold dust, letters that shimmered only when the lights went out. They painted over it, of course. Renovated. Stripped the walls down to the studs. But every time they lay new paper, the same faces come back. Pale, familiar, watching. I wonder sometimes if that's how it happens, if that's how the walls feed. One life at a time, one story folded into the next, a chain of whispers sealed beneath glue and plaster. I still think about the thing that came out of the wall. Me, but not me. Is it walking around somewhere now, going to work, drinking coffee, laughing with my friends in my voice? Maybe that's the real horror. Not being trapped, but being replaced, forgotten. Erased so cleanly that no one even notices you're gone. Down here, in the silence of the wallpaper, I've learned the pattern well. Each swirl, each face, each soul pressed into the fibers. We're all part of the same endless mural now, living memories, painted in decay. And if you ever find yourself alone in an old building, staring at the faded patterns curling on the walls, don't stare too long. The eyes you think you see might not just be tricks of the light. Because if you look closely enough, if you let curiosity pull you in, you might see me. Smiling back. If you enjoyed the Wallpaper Faces, don't forget to like this video. It really helps the channel grow and keeps these stories alive. Subscribe for daily eerie tales, mysteries, and dark narrations, and share this story with someone who loves a good scare before bed. Thank you for watching and listening tonight. There's another story waiting for you right on your screen. Go ahead, click it. I'll meet you there. Until then, keep your lights low, your doors locked, and your eyes off the wallpaper. See you tomorrow.